Okay, go to the... What'd you name it? What'd you name it?
I named it 76 with Utah.
Okay, thank you. No Robin Hood or Yukon or anything. Ooh, that's gonna be fun to do.
Ooh, that's interesting. Check and share.
Oh, so it's 7-6.
Hey,
Okay,
bro.
that's fun.
What's going on?
Oh, just living the dream. So I get here,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah, these
like
microphones don't work
five
like
whole,
that.
no,
Yeah.
like 5 whole minutes ago I got here.
Oh, okay. So.
And Phil
good
forgot
time.
his key for this, so they didn't even have a...
Lock on the door? Oh, that's good. That'll make Pete feel real secure. Maybe we don't tell him about that part.
No. Phil just forgot his key, so they didn't have the iPad to start anything.
Oh.
Okay, so this is called... So this place is now called the 7-6. And why would this work?
I think that's the way I did it last time. Right, we didn't use the big screen, we just had the 2 small ones.
This has got to be it, right? Date 12/7.
Yep.
Where's that goofy
Or
little
12,
mouse?
no, it was 12-6. Somebody's a day ahead.
I think it's the little wise man. So that's got to be that. How many people? Please let it be quick. I just got hooked on a new fucking Netflix thing. It had a really good poker week and still didn't go to play in that tournament today.
Oh.
They're not having that one. They're having a different one next week. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. So everyone gets buys in a 9-man tournament, except for Frank and Charlie. That's all.
Are you on 9?
Huh?
There's 9 people?
Yeah, and they haven't started yet.
Mm.
Instead of playing, they were out there drawing brackets and shit. Okay. So this is going, and we're off. score.
Grab this score.
The score.
Gotcha. For this game? I mean, is this a real game or y'all just practicing? Okay, so what's the score? Okay, but what's the score of the current game? Okay, so it's a game of peace now in between sets. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, it's a game of peace in between sets. She won 7-3, he won 7-4. I know, it doesn't really matter.
Hey guys, welcome to Friday Night Air Hockey, coming to you live from the newly christened 7-6 Air Hockey Club here in Houston, Texas. Joining a match in progress, already tied at a game apiece between Elahi Monazari and Jacob Munoz. I will get you an updated score here on game number 3 as soon as things get going. As always, we are being brought to you by our wonderful tournament sponsors at the I-45 Bingo Hall, located at the corner of I-45 and 1960 in the North Houston, Texas area. They have got games starting tonight at 10:30. Make sure you make your way up there and take your shot at a guaranteed $10,000 in cash and prizes. And as always, a big shout out to our new sponsors at Old Humble Distilling Company, located also up on the 1960 area in Houston, Texas, but soon to relocate to a more permanent headquarters, and we will have an updated address for you when that comes around. Looks like right now Jacob Munoz is holding has no lead. It is a 4-4 tie here in game number 3, and Elahi takes the lead at 5-4 with that beautiful shot right down the middle. Joining me as always is our good friend Charles Ray. How you doing tonight, Charles?
I'm doing fabulous, Jay.
Wonderful. As Jacob ties the score. Exciting news in the world of Air Hockey Live 360. Unfortunately, we have to keep it a secret, but we will build the suspense for you out there and just let you know we've got a secret and we can't tell you. Don't we, Charles?
Yes, we do, but it'll be worth coming back for week after week as we sprinkle little hints here and there about what exactly is going down.
Yes, big surprises at this year's World Championships for all of you players out there. We can't tell you either, but just know if you tune into our weekly broadcast, as soon as the NDA has been lifted, we will let you know. But exciting times to come, so make sure you mark this year's World Championships on your calendar. I do believe
we
that
have a victor.
We've got a victor. I think it was Elahi Monazari, but I was too busy babbling and lost track of what was going on in the game.
Fortunately, there's the replay, and you can see the score held up by the referee playing the game, watching the game. So. And
I'm sure all our savvy viewers can keep track of 2 whole points all by themselves.
I would believe that to be the case.
Okay, we have got a 9-man tournament coming at you tonight, folks. As always, you can follow us live, follow the results live at brackalope.com. A big change in the search engine section, though. You're going to need to just type in the number 7-6. That is all you need to look us up now. No more Robin Hood, no more cons, no more Mekong. Folks, we are now christened as the 7-6 Hockey Club.
And I'm sure there's a fascinating story behind the adoption of that particular moniker. That story will be coming to you on a future broadcast.
Yes, and I do know for a fact that my sister-in-law, former women's champion, and Man, with this place, I guess interior decorator has now tattooed 7-6 on her arm. So it better stay permanent, or that may end up being ridiculous.
Well, it could definitely make for a futurely good story.
But for those of you who haven't been out for a Friday Night Weekly in a while, guys, this 7-6 club is awesome. We have got 5 tables set up for your playing enjoyment, only 2 in use for the tournament, so we can bring a little bit longer broadcast to you than would be necessary with 5 tables. And with all of our self-officiated action, we can't run 5 tables at once. Folks, we are going to cut away for a short commercial break. We will be right back. Stay tuned.
There's no action on the main table. Like, what the fuck? Why is there no action on the main table?
Because we need to set up the second camera. Do you want to do it? We never get here. By the time I start, usually we're down to 1 table. Hold on, let me start the hockey.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in action. This is Charles Ray coming to you live from the 7-6. Middle of the first game between Tony Morris and Phil Arnold. With Tony Morris holding a game point lead over Phil Arnold, 6-5 here in the first set. Pretty good action here in this first game between 2 vets. As you can see, it's a razor-thin advantage for Tony Morris. He's on the attack currently, and he gets the first Duke on Phil Arnold. All right, as we reset for game 2, we reset the score. Tony and Phil have swapped sides. And we are getting set here for the beginning of action of set 2. Phil with the straight shot down the hole ties the game at 2. This is an all-important game here in the this is the championship bracket, I believe, on this side.
Everyone's still in the championship bracket, I believe. Whoever lost that first match is the only loss we have so far.
That's correct.
Had a small issue with had some security issues here at the 7-6 this evening, so getting the tournament underway was delayed a little tonight. So we are going to be able to bring you the entire 9-man tournament. Exciting, exciting news.
Yes, that's a big benefit to you watchers at home and you replay watchers who are in for all of the action that Airhockey provides.
Got a good one going here between the legend Phil Arnold and our resident tournament director, Tony Goofy Morris. We don't give enough shout-outs to Tony for running this thing on a weekly basis, along with playing and making deep runs from time to time. He handles all the sign-ups, keeps the bracket going, and makes sure the tournament runs smoothly. He also acts as kind of a de facto overall official as he ties up this match with Phil. If an outside opinion is needed from our officials, Tony will step in, and generally we will defer to his better judgment. I believe we are in... Looks like we are in set number 3, I believe. Maybe set number 2. Let's see what I can do. Now we are just going to make that go away because I am not 100% sure on what set we are in. Oh, and Phil Arnold with a mistake on the offensive side. The equivalent of an air ball in basketball. And Goofy Morris makes him pay with a beautiful shot high off the right rail. But Phil Arnold has a quick answer for him. We're all knotted up at 5. This match really coming down to it. 2 KG veterans of the game. Phil Arnold has been fighting some injury issues lately, so he hasn't been as much of a fixture at the tables, but as always, he is around. Struggling a little bit here against Goofy Morris, now trailing him. And Tony, I believe, looking at game point, but Phil knots it up at Phil knots it up at 6, and this set moves to sudden death.
Looks like a little gamesmanship going on here between the 2 wily vets.
Yeah, Phil, a master of gamesmanship at the air hockey table, whether it be rapping the mallet on the table and as if on cue, or slowing the game down to...
And he gets even. He fights to a 3rd game. Phil, the cagey vet, won't give in.
So Phil Arnold wins game number 2. We are all knotted up at a game apiece. Has Goofy been taking his points? Charles, was Goofy taking points
Yes,
in this
he
game?
is. I believe he's taking 2 in this game.
All right, we are all set. Game going on in the background at table number. We're using tables number. We'll call them 1 and 3 tonight. 1 and 4. I don't know. They've not been numbered yet. But again, great new facilities. Old arcade-like feel. Well, is a large viewing area for spectators. Along with the 5 tables, there are a couple of bar tables and a beer and wine joint and a sandwich joint and all kinds of things around here.
All right, and the action is engaged. Phil gets the first natural point of this crucial third game. Now only trailing Tony 2-1, and Tony quick with the natural answer. So now it's 3-1. Phil probing and scoring, making the deficit 3-2. Oh, deft score from Tony Morris to stretch the lead back to 2 at 4-2. You can see Phil is looking to attack a little bit more now, but Tony scores again, making it 5-2. Jumping out major there with the 3-point spread. But Phil answers back, and now it's 5-3. Lots of gamesmanship between these two old friends. Tony being vigilant to guard the keep there. Phil probing and looking to score any which way he can. You gotta love it. You love to see that kind of sportsmanship there, back and forth. Each of them trying to bait each other into making a crucial mistake. Oh, and then Phil slides one by on Tony, shorten that lead to 5-4. Phil was checking the score there. I think he wanted to see what he had to overcome. Tony being very crafty with the puck tonight. Phil playing solid defense, though. On an onslaught of several different types of attacks from Tony, Phil's managed to block off all of them, at least in this go-round. Phil slides one by on Tony to tie it up at 5. It was just so smooth. Oh, Phil again. It is point game for Phil after starting in a 2-0 hole. Crucial game 3 to see who moves on in the championship bracket. Tony measuring. And scores. Point game either way. Who's going to take it, ladies and gentlemen? Oh! Oh, was that a timeout? Or was I ahead on the score? Wow. Maybe I missed the point, added a point that shouldn't have been, but it is. They're saying now that it's tied at 6, so I apologize for the score, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Point game. Oh, and it's over just like that. Tony Morris seals it with a very crafty off-board shot here. The near board takes it in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to reset for the next game, and we will be right back.
My name is Brian Acrocco. I'm the President and CEO of United Airhockey Promotions. I have been running air hockey tournaments for about 15 years now, and I manage them here at SU Houston. Most new players, when they step up for the first time, they're quite surprised at the quality of skill that we have at the sport. Most people out there have not seen professional air hockey don't realize how advanced it actually is.
I'm thinking about this woman in Colorado that I really like. You know, I'm thinking about explaining to her first that to me, you're like an air hockey table.
fighting to the death on the table, you know, like a gladiator.
This guy hit the throat. I fell in love with air hockey in June of 1973. I picked up the mallet, no glove, didn't know anything about it, won 18 games in a row. There was so much energy going through my body of air hockey greatness that my arm just, it was too much. These people are more intense than that.
What do you think, honey, of the air hockey crowd?
I won't say anything.
There's a lot of individuals in air hockey. They have unique interests and they're not a real mainstream. Men, traditionally competitive, typically not in relationships with women.
Back right now, folks. All right. Sorry about the technical difficulties, folks. Our matches are a little bit spaced out, so we're having to go to a few extended breaks while we get players to officiate. We've got coming back at you live with the match between Phil Arnold and Charlie Martin. It looks like Charlie Martin has got a 5-1 lead over Phil Arnold, and this is game number 1 going on right now. Martin, I'm sure, got a head start on Phil Arnold. We'll give you an update on what the handicap was as soon as we can get it. Phil Arnold, never one to go down without a fight, cuts the lead to 5-2.
Yeah, we just watched Phil in a very spirited battle with Tony Morris there. And now he's in the loser's bracket trying to fight for a little bit of redemption.
Yes, this is our first elimination battle of the evening. This has gone so quick tonight, folks. The setup of this tournament is a double elimination style handicap tournament. More experienced players give up some points against some of the greenhorn, new fish, whatever you FNGs, and we can't repeat what that says. We'll just say freaky new guys. Will give up points against lower ranked players. Each match consists of 3 games. It is the best 2 out of 3. Each game is a run to 7 points. So right now, Martin holds a game point lead to 4 over Phil Arnold. Phil Arnold gonna need to rattle off 3 in a row to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat in this one.
Phil there with a long lean, trying to get himself a little bit of an extra advantage there over the board.
Phil Arnold, not a short man by any means.
Not at all. It's a very tall man, and he definitely uses his height to his advantage.
And coming from Charles, that's saying something. Me, myself, and me, all 5'6" of me, everyone's tall to me. Anyone else's mother tell them that lie about how, don't worry, one day you'll be taller than all the girls. Lies, I tell you, lies.
It's a good thing that they come in all sizes, right? Right.
I have screwed it up with all of them, sir. Yes, I have. All shapes and sizes. But back to the air hockey. Phil Arnold has battled back to make it sudden death here in game number 1. Another comeback by Arnold against a lower ranked player. He was unable to seal the deal against Goofy Morris. See if he can do better here against Charlie Martin.
And Phil is trying to send Charlie Martin to his weekend plans, much like Tony's shirts advertising there.
Tony, a fixture in the air hockey community for years now.
Very colorful character. Phil with the near save on the own goal. Oh, and then a rebound gets him. Charlie Martin wins the first set 7-6.
Players will switch sides. We will reset the score. How many points you get? I got 2. You get 2 points? Oh, wait, no. Hold on. I'll get some more.
Yes, and Martin is getting 5 points on Phil.
That is the max head start any player can get, so that makes Phil Arnold's win even that much more impressive. rattling off 7 points.
Oh no, Martin won the
Only
first
surrender.
game.
Okay, so Martin, we were all tied up a game apiece, but in that last game,
Ah. So we jumped in the second set, not the first set.
I
I guess so. Little correction there for you fans. We apologize there.
So Phil Arnold only surrendering 1 natural point in that last game. Beautiful display of defense. Martin with a wild forehand attempt, and all he managed to do was surrender possession back over to Phil Arnold, and Arnold takes the opportunity to show him how a forehand is really played. Beautiful shot, low off the left rail, sneaks it behind the defensive Martin.
Martin looking a little anxious here. But he sneaks one by Phil on that.
Oh, Charlie Martin paying attention to the lessons dished out by the old man and turns it around and scores on an almost identical try to Phil Arnold. Using Phil Arnold gonna need to be careful, and it's almost over right there.
Right. Dancing along his own goal again.
Charlie Martin 1 point away from the big upset. Really needs to get more wrist action into his shot attempts. Really telegraphing Gabby what he's gonna do ahead of time. Phil Arnold playing those back rails again. That cost him in the last game. He was unable to control the rebound on the setup attempt, and it came right back, and an own goal ended game number 2.
And yet he scores on the forehand right there. Straight shot right down the center lane.
Every explorer who has climbed Everest started with step number 1, and Phil Arnold up to step number 3, and gonna need 4 more without allowing Martin another inch. Tall order even against a green player like Martin. He continues to chip away at the lead. No lead insurmountable against someone like Phil Arnold.
He's taking it 1 point at a time, which is a good approach. 1 goal at a time.
Really a lot of counter shots and doing what he can to actually take control of the puck before he sets it up. Being really deliberate on the defensive side because he can't afford to make any mistakes here against Martin. Beautiful 2-rail bank. Left rail, right rail over, and comes behind the defensive Martin. And we are all tied up and back to sudden death again.
This time Martin's flirting with his own goal there. This guy's got to be careful. Get a little loose with the puck there towards their own goals.
Charlie Martin, a 5-point handicap in this. I have never seen him before, but I will give him mad props for the headwear.
I like the old school sweatband. That is boss player right there. Probably would have gone with a different color. But aside from that, and Phil shuts the door.
Hits it so hard he turns the table off. Phil Arnold gonna win game number 2. I told you that was game number 1.
Okay. All right.
Unless... No, I think you're right. I do believe Phil Arnold
Phil
just
did actually
closed
close it out.
And
Yes.
we are going to go ahead and cut away for just a few short moments. See, we don't know what's going on.
We're fans like you. Really trying to understand everything that's going on tonight. It's a little bit of a wacky night out here. It's already 5-2 for Charlie Martin. We're going to get that score up here for you in just a moment. Bear with us here while we try to get everything together.
So Charlie Martin to yet score a natural point here in this game. Again with the 5-point head start, and Phil Arnold with 2 quick ones to start game number 3.
Phil there leading out. Loses the puck though. Martin gets possession.
Phil found enough air on that attempt to help solve the global warming problem.
He really could put the fire out in the Amazon. And he scores there though.
Must have hurt us.
Must have hurt us.
There was some anger behind that forehand.
A little bit.
This new enclosed space that actually looks and feels like a studio. Again, shout out to Georgia and Peter Lippincott for the work on the setup. For those of you joining us for the first time, the Friday Night Weekly Tournament broadcast begins at 9 p.m. every Friday night. That is Central Standard Time. You know who you are.
Come early, come often. Just make sure that you come by. I thought that forehand got home, but instead it jumped off the table. We got some flyers in this game. The guys are smashing the puck so hard. Ooh, deadly straight shot from Martin. Makes it 6-3. Phil's got to be really careful. He's going to have to go on another run here to close this out, or it will be over for him. There's another flyer. I'm gonna have to institute some edges, some cupped edges for the table.
So I've just been informed that tomorrow at 11 a.m. we have got an amateur tournament that is going to be limited to anybody aged 25 and under. Georgia Lippincott is going to be hosting that table, or that event. There will be a $5 entry fee and a random draw for the brackets. This is for our lower level players, so if you are a master, you are not invited. Keep your butt at home. Again, that is going to happen tomorrow here at the 7-6 Hockey Club. We are located at 2808 Milam Street in the Mekong Shopping Center. Again, that is going to be our amateur tournament tomorrow, Saturday. I said tomorrow. It is not tomorrow. It is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
December 7th is tomorrow.
That is correct.
Oh, how time flies. So that is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Make sure you get here early to register.
If you like competition and you like air hockey, come on down and get you some.
But again, if you are a master level player, stay at home, please.
Because all you will be doing is spectating, which is
Or
perfectly fine.
officiating if you want to come help with that. I'm sure.
Yes, that's also very welcome. Could always use more efficients. Got a little lag here, but it looks like Martin took the Duke on Phil. Closed him out 7-5. Very nicely done for the youngster. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and take another quick break, but we'll be right back at you with more action from the 7-6.
I'm thinking about this woman in Colorado that I really like. I'm thinking about explaining to her first that, to me, you're like an air hockey table.
I like fighting to the death on the table, you know, like a gladiator.
I just got hit in the throat. I fell in love with air hockey in June of 1973. I picked up the mallet, no glove, didn't know anything about it, won 18 games in a row. There was so much energy going through my body of air hockey greatness that my arm just, it was too much. These people are more intense than that.
What do you think, honey, of the air hockey crowd?
I won't say anything.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the beginning match here for Charlie Martin versus Tyler Gibson.
No family members here this week, so for the first time in 3 weeks, we are going to have a non-family final.
Which is amazing and interesting for other reasons, naturally.
We have seen the Gibsons play each other, and we have seen the Marinos play each other twice in the last 3 weeks in the finals.
Yes, it's good to have a little bit of new blood mixed in here. Give everybody a little bit of different action and some different participants here.
So the Gibsons with the chance to win their second title as a family in the last 4 weeks, but Tyler is their only hope as Chris is not here.
We're going to get you a score here as soon as we can figure out what it is, so bear with us on that. Waiting on a little bit of a hint from the judge here. All right, I hear 1-3, but I'm not quite sure who has 1 and who has 3. I think Martin has 4 and Gibson has 1. Here we are. All right, Gibson with a fast answer to Martin's score, now 4-2. Martin with the long reach, very lucky that Gibson didn't get the Duke on him there. And another puck flies off the table.
Action moving fast and furious, already into the Heartbreakers bracket. Come to a big lull in the action as we sand down the puck.
Again, another puck flies off the table. It's just a lot of hard smacking going on these tables tonight. A lot of guys really going for it here on the table. And I don't necessarily just mean the men. We have definitely seen the ladies put on a show here and strike the puck very ferociously. Gibson's got 3 now. Martin's 4. It's trying to climb back in it. It's a very, very close game still. Gibson looking so buttery smooth on the table, though. But Martin with the far rail shot widens his lead to 5-3, and immediately Gibson answers with a straight hand. Oh, and then he answers again, Martin. Scores and puts Gibson on the brink, but Gibson scores again. All right, Phil, with a little bit of a lesson here in the game, in the rules. Giving Martin some information there, a little edification on some of the more nuancy rules of air hockey. Look at that control Gibson displays. Oh, but Martin cashes him in. Scores the Duke in the first game. Switch sides and reset for game number 2. Following along in college football action. Glance down and I see that the Ducks are up on the Utes going into the fourth quarter by 8 points. Looking like a good game there if you're a college football fan. Lots of good action around the league. In NBA, as I mean the league, when I refer to the league here. Lots of good sports action this Friday night all around the world. Or at least around the country, I should say. I don't want to overstate. Ooh, Martin with a little bit of a miss there. Has to cough up the puck. I believe Martin is getting 2 points here. Yeah, it looks like Martin's getting 2 points on Gibson to start the game. A little more sanding of the puck. Try to keep that friction down so the puck slides better. Alright, that's another one from Martin there. Should be 3-0, I believe. Alright, Gibson scores there on the banker off the far rail. Gets himself on the board, or the natural. And he scores again. Oh, I believe it's 4-2. I'm hearing here from the referee. The action is relentless. It is oftentimes a little difficult to keep up with, but we're going to do the best we can for you here. Gibson tried a little short straight shot. Didn't get that one. Staying on the attack though. Probing. And he gets that one through. Oh, we got a lost battle. Another puck lost off to the side there. Let's try to get you an update on the score.
But I don't know. It's 3-2. I'm not sure which way it is.
And it's got to be for Martin. Gibson. Martin's been leading. Up, it's tied at 4. Yeah, I was right. It was tied at 4. Oh, Gibson makes Martin pay for reaching that time. Stings him for one off the far rail. Oh, 6'4" Gibson. Trying to get on the comeback here after Martin got that first game on him. He's trying to even it up here. Oh, Martin with a nice forehand. Closes the gap. Gonna have to play really solid defense here for 2 points. But that's the game as Gibson stings him on a forearm and forces a deciding game 3. Martin's getting 3 points. And Gibson immediately scores off the natural. Realizing that he's up against it. But Martin.
Tyler Gibson's game has improved steadily week to week over the last few months since he's joined us. Still not to that elite level player yet, but definitely making steps in that direction.
Very sneaky near rail shot by Gibson there. Slides under the defense of Martin. Martin with a fast answer though. Back and forth, trading shots.
Always see the marked difference in the newer players with the more seasoned pros like the Phil Arnolds of the world. Shot attempts aren't nearly as crisp or accurate, but it gets the job done, and that's why they get spotted points when they do play the pros. Action is definitely slowed in this match. It looks like Tyler Gibson still trailing 5-4. Been stuck on the score for a couple of exchanges now. And our official has decided that Charlie Martin will get possession on the restart. Seeing the puck leaving the table a lot because these younger players do make a lot more wild shots and not a lot of strategy behind their shot-making decision.
Gibson with the score there, making it 5-5.
When you flail at an air hockey puck, it has a nasty habit of leaving the table.
Which means for all of you spectators that like to sit in close, you are at risk. Gibson with the game point shot there. Trying to close it out.
As we pass the 1 hour mark in our broadcast, I'd like to once again give a shout out to our sponsors at the I-45 Bingo Hall, where'sthegig.com, and Old Humble Distilleries. Obviously to all our private benefactors as well. Without all of you, Air Hockey Live 360 would not be possible. Quick shot on the restart by Martin, but shut down in a hurry by Gibson. Good defense against that hard attempt. Gibson with a solid shot, just missing wide left, and Martin with a mistake going to cost him, and
that is the game, ladies and gentlemen. 7-5 on the own goal by Martin. Crushing way to lose.
And Martin's own goal is going to send him trunk slamming for the weekend. Hope you made some fun plans tonight, Charlie, because your night at the tables is over. Folks, we are going to take a short break, get the brackets updated. We will be back in just a couple of minutes.
It'll be Montezari versus Moore, maybe.
I'm the president and CEO of United Airhockey Promotions. I have been running air hockey tournaments for about 15 years now, and I manage them here at Houston. Most new players, when they step up for the first time, they're quite surprised at the quality of skill that we have at the sport. Most people out there have not seen professional air hockey don't realize how advanced it actually is.
I'm thinking about this woman in Colorado that I really like. You know, I'm thinking about explaining to her first that to me you're like an air hockey table.
I like fighting to the death on the table, you know, like a gladiator.
This guy hit the throat.
I fell in love with air hockey in June of 1973. I picked up the mallet, no glove, didn't know anything about it, won 18 games in a row. There was so much energy going through my body of air hockey greatness that my arm just, you know, it was too much.
Yeah, come on!
These people are more intense than average.
What do you think, huh?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the face-off of Game 1 and the semifinal winners. Sarah Wiseman versus Tony Goofy Morris, and Sarah gets the early Duke on Tony, look like there. Yes, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Tony quickly ties the game up at 1. And now it is 2-1 to Sarah Wiseman. Tony being very deliberate with his attacks here. But again, as Jay mentioned, you can tell rookies from vets. The vets are all silky smooth. No wasted movement. Those paddles flash out there and strike the puck. As Sarah definitely demonstrates there, taking the 3-1 lead. Here in this game between Morris and Wiseman as the puck's kind of sliding back and forth across the table. Tony gets the Duke on that one.
Yeah, winner of this moves into the championship bracket final for a shot at for the first shot at the championship table, while the loser will be moving into the elimination bracket quarters to face off against Rolf Moore. Nice shot by Goofy Morris down the middle there. Sarah Wiseman trying to force the action, but Goofy almost scores on a counter. Nice defense on Wiseman's end of the table for sure. Nice shot from Sarah. Ties up game number 1 at 4 points apiece. This is going to be a
barn burner. That's the word you're looking for, right?
Yeah, I was thinking more of a grind with these two. We might be on our way to 3-6-6 ties right here before we decide a winner. Both these players very evenly matched.
Tony, though, slyly gets that under rail in there. And again, utilizing Sarah's own paddle against her there to get that score in on back-to-back goals, really. Trusting his shot against her defensive positioning. But Sarah with the forehand tightens it up 6-5. Let's see if Tony tries to use her paddle against her again. It seems like he's trying to set her up for that same kind of shot. So far, Sarah seems to kind of be hip to it. She's moving her paddle a little bit more, not keeping it stationary. And she gets the forehand in there to tighten up the game at a point apiece. And Sarah gets the Duke in the first game on a nasty forehand that slides by Tony.
Again, a well-fought battle from Tony there in game number 1, but unable to hang with young Sarah Wiseman.
Who apparently feels like stretching on the table.
Here's our official is taking a short break. Phil Arnold now returning to the table.
That is a cheer that I have never seen before. No shortage of personality here at the air hockey tables. And she's ready to go. She wants it. She's going to take Tony down. Tony's going to have to pick up his energy to compete with that. And she scores immediately to make it a 1-0 lead. Firing out the gate.
All the momentum's still on Sarah's side of the table, and she's going to ride that wave as long as it's going. Tony Morris finally stops bleeding.
Sounds like Tony's got his own cheering section out there. Sarah right back at him now. 2-1. Very nice shot off the near rail there from Sarah to make it a 3-1 lead. But Tony fires back immediately to close the gap. And Sarah immediately goes on attack but is denied. Until then.
Doesn't take her long once she gets going. She can light up a scoreboard in a hurry.
I don't know what the judge is doing there, but he didn't have the score quite correct, seems like, and Sarah called him out on it.
Tony just peppering Sarah's goal with shot attempts, but not one of them did he get on goal. They all bounced harmlessly off the back rail.
Impenetrable at that point. It's a fun word. Sarah's defense being strong there and her offense being better as she takes a commanding 5-2 short-lived to 5-3 lead on Tony. Quickly puts up 6 points and is 1 point away from being in the winner's bracket final, but Tony won't let her off the hook so easily. Sarah slowing down the action here when I think that was her best advantage, was that she was speeding it up. She should play fast against Tony. It was working. And there it is. Game over, ladies and gentlemen.
That match ended up being all Sarah Wiseman all the time, closing out Tony Morris in straight sets. Morris's night not done yet. He will move into the elimination bracket to face off with Rolf Moore, and we are going to take a short break, and we will be right back with you.
I'm thinking about this woman in Colorado that I really like. I'm thinking about explaining to her first that to me you're like an air hockey table.
I like fighting to the death on the table, you know, like a gladiator.
This guy hit the throat. I fell in love with air hockey in June of 1973. I picked up the mallet, no glove, didn't know anything about it, won 18 games in a row. There was so much energy going through my body of air hockey greatness that my arm just, it was too much.
These people are more intense than that.
What do you think, honey, of the air hockey crowd?
I won't say anything.
There's a lot of individuals in air hockey. They have unique interests and they're not a real mainstream. Men, traditionally competitive, typically not in relationships with women, kind of loners, kind of in love with the table and maybe married to the table, I don't know.
I used to play air hockey every day. I'd play 30, 40 games a day. I would just play air hockey. That's what I like to do.
That's ridiculous.
Mark feels like he has to make sure that air hockey's not going to die, to make sure that when he is dead, air hockey will continue living.
I think the extinction of air hockey is a very real concern.
The arcades are virtually extinct these days.
Unless somebody is able to come in and do some really radical marketing, it may not be around.
We have wives, we have jobs, we have things that we can spend our money on rather than coming to Vegas to play air hockey. So there's definitely something about air hockey that's keeping us going.
We're really starting to reach out and connect the fan base to the sponsor base to the player base.
Oh, you got 500! Like to win 16-3! Horse 0. Unbelievable.
The moment of playing air hockey, there is no misery. Playing air hockey.
Why they have jump rope and things like that on ESPN and not air hockey, it's kind of beyond me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are into the first set of Rolf Moore and Tony Morris. We're going to see if there's a handicap involved in this game. We're not quite sure about that yet. You can already kind of feel there's a little friendlier pace here to this game. Not quite the same frenetic pace between Wiseman and Morris that you just saw a minute ago.
I've seen Rolf at one final table in the last year or so. So he has his moments, but he is a very slow and deliberate player, and Tony Morris has a tendency to play down to his competition from time to time. Good shot from Rolf.
All right. He's got
over approach off that right rail when he scores on Tony Moore.
And I think he's only getting a point on Tony because it's 2-0 now, so that's the first natural for Rolf. Judging by the way Tony's playing, it's almost like he's gone into the lab a little bit to experiment here during this game a little, try out different approaches. All right, Tony sneaks one by to tie the game up at 2.
Deliberate shot selection. I'd like to see either one of these players take a few more chances. This deliberate play, you open yourself up to mistakes like the one that Morris just made. He scored an own goal, but he comes back with 2 quick ones to make up for his mistake.
And Moore gives up a mistake to give it right back. Oh, Tony did it to himself again. Another own goal. Seen quite a few of those here in these later games, whereas we didn't really see that so much in the earlier games. Tony with game point now at 6-4. Tony tried to use a little bit of a fake out there, but it didn't work. Rock stayed steady.
Little razzle-dazzle. Almost backfired.
But Tony gets the first game on a forehand shot. Wins it 7-4.
So the opening game goes to Morris, and we will reset and do it again. This is an elimination match, so the loser will be done for the weekend, while the winner will be moving into the elimination bracket semifinals. Still a chance to claim a championship. We'll see if we can get you an update from the Frank Perez Jacob Munoz semifinal going on at table number 3. The winner of that moves into the winner's bracket final to face off with Sarah Wiseman, while the loser of that will move into the elimination bracket to face off with Tyler Gibson.
Tony looking very relaxed right now on the table. You can tell that he's used to dictating the pace. Feels very in control. Looks like he's just going to effortlessly glide to victory here. Oh. Rolf, though, comes back to score 2 in a row. Closes the gap. missed one there, I think, in the buffer, but I believe the score is now 5-3 to Tony. Oh, that was the game as we missed another point. Tony shuts out Rolf in straight sets.
So Rolf's weekend is over and Goofy Harris moves into the elimination bracket semis to face off against the winner of the Tyler Gibson loser of the match table 3 match. That was a mouthful, folks. My fault. We're going to cut away for a quick break while we get another match going at the main table. For Charles, I'm Jay. We'll be back in just a minute.
My name is Brian Airhockey. I'm the president and CEO of United Airhockey Promotions. I have been running air hockey tournaments for about 15 years now, and I manage them here at Houston. Most new players, when they step up for the first time, they're quite surprised at the quality and skill that we have at the sport. Most people out that have not seen professional air hockey don't realize how advanced it actually is.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. This game is a winner's final between Jacob Munoz and Sarah Wiseman. And just like that, it's out to a 2-2 tie. All right, 3-2 for 3-all. Just like, looks like we're gonna have some hot and heavy action in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like a race to the end. Who's gonna get there first? Four, 3, real fast for Munoz. Munoz jumps out to a 5-3 lead there. And Weissman answers to make it 4-5. Uh-oh, did I get 5-all there? 6-5, Munoz. The race is definitely on, ladies and gentlemen. And there it is. Munoz takes the first game 7-6. A very spirited and fast first game, ladies and gentlemen. Catching a quick break here in the action between games. Waiting for the judge to come back and reset. All right, looks like we've set and we're ready for game 2 here between Wiseman and looks like Wiseman's getting 2 points on Munoz. Munoz with the quick answer there to cut the lead in half. Gets the first natural of the game. Or the set, rather. Wow, very sneaky shot there by Munoz to go ahead and tie the game at 2. And then quickly take the lead 3-2. He's definitely on the attack right now. Wiseman with a nice answer though to tie it back up at 3. Munoz has that slick shot right there off the score though. Always keeping you on your defense there, because the puck is coming faster than you can blink.
Two really good young players here, folks. As we have said in previous broadcasts, Jacob was voted this year's most improved at the World Championships. Beautiful 4th place finish from him at this year's World Championships, and of course Sarah Wiseman from Airhockey royalty when it comes to the Weissman family. Brother and dad, both former world champions. Her father being one of the founding fathers of air hockey. believe Sarah gives up a couple points to Jacob, doesn't she? Or did
No,
she waive them?
She took 2 points against Jacob. And it's currently 4-3.
The winner of this match will have punched the first ticket to the championship table this evening, while the loser will move into the elimination bracket final. On the elimination bracket side of things, we still have Goofy Morris waiting for the winner of the Frank Perez-Tyler Gibson match, which is going on at table number 3. While Goofy Morris officiates the winner's bracket final right here. Jacob still retaining a slim 5-4 lead over Sarah here in game number 2. While we trade some puck work back and forth, I'd just like to take this moment to gloat about the weather here in Houston, Texas. Spent all day on my porch on the 6th of December today, folks, in shorts, flip-flops, and a tank top. This really disgusting Texas December we're having with I think the low temperature today was about 73 degrees. Score's been stuck pretty steady here on 6-4.
Looks like they're going to just on cue there. Sarah scores an easy one there. And then Jacob closes her out. 7-5. Brings it to a screeching halt. Sends Sarah packing to the loser's bracket.
So Jacob through to the championship table, and Sarah will move to the elimination side and wait in the elimination bracket final for some competition. We are going to cut away for a few minutes. That, folks, that you just heard, that loud bang was Jacob Munoz launching an air hockey puck and it hitting the door of the studio. Okay, folks, again, we will be back in just a couple of minutes.
I'm thinking about this woman in Colorado that I really like. You know, I'm thinking about explaining to her first that to me you're like an air hockey table.
I like fighting to the death on the table, you know, like a gladiator.
This guy hit the throat. I fell in love with air hockey in June of 1973. I picked up the mallet, no glove, didn't know anything about it, won 18 games in a row. There was so much energy going through my body of air hockey greatness that my arm just, you know, it was too much.
These people are more intense than others.
What do you think, honey, of the air hockey crowd?
I won't say anything.
There's a lot of individuals in air hockey. They have unique interests and they're not a real mainstream. Men, traditionally competitive, typically not in relationships with women, kind of loners, kind of in love with the table and maybe married to the table, I don't know.
I used to play air hockey every day. I'd play 30, 40 games a day. I would just play air hockey. That's what I like to do.
That's ridiculous.
Mark feels like he has to make sure that air hockey's not going to die, to make sure that when he is dead, air hockey will continue living.
I think the extinction of air hockey is a very real concern.
The arcades are virtually extinct these days.
Unless somebody is able to come in and do some really radical marketing, it may not be around.
We have wives, we have jobs, we have things that we can spend our money on rather than coming to Vegas to play air hockey. So there's definitely something about air hockey that's keeping us going.
We're really starting to reach out and connect the fan base to the sponsor base to the player base.
Oh, you got 500! Like to win 16-3! Hard 0. Unbelievable.
The moment of playing air hockey, there is no misery. You're playing air hockey.
Why they have jump rope and things like that on ESPN and not air hockey, it's kind of beyond me.
My name is I'm the President and CEO of United Airhockey Promotions. I have been running air hockey tournaments for about 15 years now, and I manage them here at SMU Houston. Most new players, when they step up for the first time, they're quite surprised at the quality of skill that we have at the sport. Most people out there have not seen professional air hockey don't realize how advanced it actually is.
Folks, just a quick update for you. We have not forgotten you. We are still waiting for the Frank Perez-Tyler Gibson match to wrap up. It is all tied up at a game apiece and has just moved into the third and final game. We will be right back with you at the conclusion of that match. That's all I can do, right? Go back to Hockey Jockeys.
My name is I'm the President and CEO of United Airhockey Promotions. I have been running air hockey tournaments for about 15 years now, and I manage them here at Houston. Most new players, when they step up for the first time, they're quite surprised at the quality of skill that we have at the sport. Most people out there have not seen professional air hockey don't realize how advanced it actually is.
I'm thinking about this woman in Colorado that I really like. And I'm thinking about explaining to her first that to me, you're like an air hockey table.
I like fighting to the death on the table, you know, like a gladiator.
This guy hit the throat. I fell in love with air hockey in June of 1973. I picked up the mallet, no glove, didn't know anything about it, won 18 games in a row. There was so much energy going through my body of air hockey greatness that my arm just, it was too much.
These people are more intense than that.
What do you think, honey, of the air hockey crowd?
I won't say anything.
There's a lot of individuals in air hockey. They have unique interests and they're not a real mainstream. Men, traditionally competitive, typically not in relationships with women, kind of loners, you know, kind of in love with the table and maybe married the table.
Right. I used to play air hockey every day. I'd play 30, 40 games a day. I would just play air hockey. That's what I like to do.
That's ridiculous.
Mark feels like he has to make sure that air hockey's not going to die, to make sure that when he is dead, air hockey will continue living.
I think the extinction of air hockey is a very real concern.
The arcades are virtually extinct these days.
Unless somebody is able to come in and do some really radical marketing, you know, it may not be around.
We have wives, we have jobs, we have things that we can spend our money on rather than coming to Vegas to play air hockey. So there's definitely something about air hockey that's keeping us going.
We're really starting to reach out and connect the fan base to the sponsor base to the player base.
Oh, you got 500! Like the win, 16 to 3!
fulfillment of playing air hockey, there is no misery. Playing air hockey.
Why they have jump rope and things like that on ESPN and not air hockey, it's kind of beyond me.
Had a huge turnout for my poker night on Monday. It was awesome. 25 people show up and they all stayed to play the cash game afterwards.
Very nice.
Guys, we're going to let you watch the warm-ups going on right now. This is just Jacob Munoz and Charlie Martin. They're just wasting a little bit of time. Charlie Martin already out of the tournament. Again, still waiting for that match between Frank Perez and Tyler Gibson to wrap up. As soon as that's done, we will have some more exciting air hockey action for you. Till then, just enjoy Jacob and Charlie.
I'll get the score for you.
All right, folks, and we are finally back. This is going to be the elimination bracket semifinals, and it's going to be Tony Morris against Tyler Gibson. Sorry about the delay in coverage. We had games we had to finish up on the outer tables. The action gets started with Tony Morris winning the initial possession. Tyler with a nice attempt off the left rail, but Tony with the better block. And it's going to be Tyler Gibson who opens the scoring and moves ahead 1-0 here in the opening game of this elimination bracket match. Two quick ones from Gibson, but Morris with a nice answer and cuts the lead to 2-1. Well, folks, Tony Morris has mounted a pretty good comeback here and is just taken over the lead at 5-4. It's his first lead here in game number 1. Short-lived, though, as Gibson ties it up at 5. Pretty deliberate work on both sides of the table early on in this match. Neither of these players big bangers. They don't like for the game to move too fast. Morris surrenders possession as the puck does not stay on the table, and Gibson gets to game point first. Moves back ahead 6-5. And we are to sudden death, and that is no shock with the way game one has played out. Been very evenly matched. Neither player able to grab more than a 2-point lead, and here we are at 6-6. And it's going to be Tyler Gibson winning game number one.
Yes.
A beautiful win from Tyler Gibson there in game number one. Again, very deliberate play on both sides of the table. Nothing too crazy. Just trading points back and forth. And Tyler Gibson, the first one to get to 7. Couple words of encouragement from Sarah Weissman, who is awaiting the winner of this game in the elimination bracket finals. So the winner of this game, as I just said, moves on to face Sarah Weissman, loser, with a very respectable 4th place finish in the weekly. Tyler Gibson gonna open the scoring here in game number 2, so the momentum's still swinging his way.
Tony gets on the board there with a nice return shot off the near rail.
I'd like to see Tyler do more work towards the middle of the table. He's got a huge reach and height advantage over Tony Morris. Tony Morris coming in probably at around 5'5" because he's shorter than I am. And Tyler Gibson well over 6 feet tall. Tony Morris staying out in front here in game number 2. Gonna need a win to push the match to a 3rd and deciding game. But the rubber game 2 far from decided as we sit even at 3-3.
Oh, Tony gets the better of that little rally there. And he scores again. Tony rallying here to make it interesting. Fighting hard to push for that 3rd game. Tony closing in on clinching game 2 and forcing a game number 3. Oh, Gibson with the own goal helps Tony force that decisive game 3. All right, here we go. We're gonna go right to game 3 here, or 3rd game in the set. Tony's on fire right now. Fired through Gibson in game 2 and comes out scores first in game 3.
The momentum of this match has definitely shifted. Starting at about 3-3 in game number 2, Tony Morris sees control and he has not let it go yet. Little corner rattler for Tyler. Takes his time, regains control of the puck. It's a mistake you see from the youngsters. They'll lose the puck down there in the corner, and they'll be so quick to get at it, they'll end up losing the possession. Tony Morris trying to make a statement tonight. We haven't seen Tony Morris at a final table yet this year. Again, Tony, our tournament director. It's always nice to see him make a deep run. All the good work he does for us.
You know, Sarah Wiseman is lurking, and he's got a chance of redemption, but she's got a chance to put him down twice in the evening.
And with the way Sarah Wiseman played Jacob Munoz, I know he won, and he's sitting at the championship table waiting, but she gave Jacob a run for his money. Going to be two completely different styles of play in our next match, regardless of if it's Gibson or Morris who gets there. Sarah is definitely going to be a huge increase in the pace of play for both of these players. Beautiful forehand from Tony off the left rail, and he moves ahead 5-3.
That was an important shot. Gave him a little separation, got him close to the end. Gibson not giving it up, though.
Gibson really needed that one. Really felt like Morris was seizing control of this match, but Gibson not going to let it get away that easy.
And there you go, tie game from Gibson.
Gibson hard off the left wall, goes to the underside of the Morris mallet and goes right back to the well and fills that bucket again, and now he's up 6-5, and he is the first to match point. Little bit overexcited on the attempt to close it out and unable to keep the puck on the table, so he's going to surrender possession over to Tony Morris. Tony Morris really going to need to score right here, and he does just that. Oh, it's over. I apologize, folks. We missed a point somewhere in the coverage, and Tony Morris is going to move on to face Sarah Wiseman. We are going to take a quick break this time, I assure you folks. This one will be 90 seconds to maybe 3 minutes. It will not be half an hour. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
They haven't updated the iPad. But we know it's going to be Gibson versus Morris versus Wiseman. Who scored the last point?
I'm thinking about this woman in Colorado that I really like. You know, I'm thinking about explaining to her first that to me you're like an air hockey table.
fighting to the death on the table, you know, like a gladiator.
This guy hit the throat. I fell in love with air hockey in June of 1973. I picked up the mallet, no glove, didn't know.
Guys, we are back. This is the Elimination Bracket Finals. It is going to be Toni Morris against Miss Sarah Wiseman. Sarah Wiseman should be well rested. She hasn't played a match in over 45 minutes.
Yeah, she's been sitting out there getting cold a little bit. She'll have to warm up a little.
Toni coming off a beautiful victory against Tyler Gibson in the elimination semis, and Sarah Wiseman is going to open the scoring. Moves ahead 1-0, another even match. Both of these players will be getting a couple points at the championship table against Jacob Nunez, but heads up against each other, neither surrendering a handicap early. Oh, and Wiseman with the mistake on the return on the rebound off her own shot, and that's going to be an own goal against Wiseman. So now Toni Morris moves ahead 3-1. Sarah going for puck control and the quick shots up towards center of the table, but Toni Morris able to shut it down. And Toni Morris on a run right now.
Yeah. And you know, sitting off to the side looks like it may have affected Sarah a little bit. She's kind of slowly coming around to being on the table here again.
Puck spending most of the time on Sarah's side of the table so far, but Morris just playing solid defense and coming back with quick counters, and has moved out to an early 4-2 lead. But Wiseman finally finding the accuracy off that right rail. And Morris can't do anything about that. Just a perfectly placed right rail under from Sarah Wiseman. She's cut Toni's lead to 1.
Vigorously on the attack here. Lots of forehands, straight shots down the center. Really testing Toni's reaction rates.
She looked a little bit lackadaisical at the beginning of this game on the defensive side, and it cost her. But definitely has stepped up the intensity on the offensive side of the table.
And ties the game.
Game's all tied up, but Sarah would be ahead 1-0 if not for that own goal at 0-2. But and Sarah now with 4 unanswered to move ahead 5-4 on Toni Morris.
It looks like Toni got clipped by the puck on his thumb there. We'll stretch that out a little bit. And there's another own goal.
Another mistake from Sarah is going to allow Toni to tie it, and is keeping him in it, and has gotten Toni to game point. Sarah Wiseman with 3 own goals in this opening game. She's going to need to clean up things on the offense if she's going to win this match. Another beautiful right wall under. She should be sitting at about 6-3, but again, 3 mistakes on her own side of the table, and we are now at sudden death.
Got a little look at the leg here, it seems like, yeah. And that's game, just like that. Toni took advantage of the pause.
Toni Morris taking advantage of 3 mistakes by Sarah Wiseman in the opening game and closes her out 7-6. Sarah cannot be happy with the way that turned out. While we have a moment, another quick shout out to our sponsors at the Old Humble Brewery. A beautiful Texas whiskey, folks. Make sure you get out and give it a try. You can find it at at most of your local Specs locations. Again, that's Old Humble Distilleries, beautiful Texas whiskey. And again, our friends at the I-45 Bingo Hall at the corner of I-45 North and 1960, home of the daily guarantee, $10,000 in cash and prizes. Also, a big shout out to where'sthegig.com, always a musician's best friend when it comes to managing your personal business. Things are going to restart now with Tony Morris on the attack. Again, Tony, the beneficiary of some sloppy play by Sarah Wiseman in the opening game of this match. And closing out Sarah 7-6 in the opener, but Sarah looking to get off to a better start, but they're trading goals early, and both players with right wall unders, and Weissman follows with a backhand right down the middle, and we are at 2-1, Sarah Weissman in the lead.
Tony's taking his time a little bit here. I want to make sure that he's ready to go before he gets going. He knows how important this game is.
Tony Morris, I feel, is probably going to need to shut Weissman down. If he allows her to regain the momentum, win game 2, all bets are off in game 3, and I just kind of feel like a third, going to game 3 is going to favor Weissman all the way. It just means the momentum switched to her side of the table.
And she has the benefit of youth.
There is always that.
Very clever there. She set that up rather nicely and then just popped it on him.
The old farts with good showings here tonight. Frank Perez making it to the semifinals in the elimination brackets, getting closed out by Tyler Gibson. And Tony Goofy Morris still here, while the legend Phil Arnold getting closed out early on in the tournament today, in the tournament this weekend. Tony might have been the beneficiary of a lucky bounce there. That puck hit his mallet, went straight back towards his scoring area, and just caught enough of the edge of the table to bounce out of the goal.
It's got to be a little bit like that Harden dunk that didn't count in the game the other day.
That was the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen in sports.
Insane.
I was just reading an article while we were on the break out from our friends at the 4 Letter Sports Network. It is looking like Brian Cashman has been given the green light to make Garrett Cole an offer that would make him the highest paid player in the history of professional baseball. The offer has not come down the pipe yet, but with Scott Boras as his agent, we always know that it's gonna be a money first deal. There's all that talk of wanting to go back to his hometown in LA, maybe play for the Angels at a discount. As an Astros fan, you know, I thought we might have had a chance to get a I really want to win a championship discount, but with all of the controversy, if I was in Cole's shoes, I'd probably take the one-way ticket out of town as well. At this point, if the Pinstripes are going to offer me what's going to be in excess of probably $35 million a year,
It's happened.
As much as I dislike the evil empire up there in the Bronx, I won't even say their name, it's still who they are. And
it's hard to say no to $35 million a year.
It's hard to say no to $35 million and to go wear that iconic uniform and you can always go play for your hometown Angels right before you turn 40, sign the 1-year deal, finish up your career, give your friends and family what they want to see. But if you have an opportunity to make more money, more cake, more cheddar, whatever you want to call it,
and win, let's not forget,
and go
And
to
win.
probably the second best young team, and just your presence there instantly puts them on par with the team you're coming from, and you get the money, how do you turn that down? How do you turn that down? You don't. You just don't do it.
No.
Unless
not a
the
sound
Astros
business
match
decision.
the offer, which is never going to happen.
The management here is known to be, let's say, frugal.
No, that is not true. That is the old management. That is the Drayton McLean, Jerry Hunziker days. We are in...
They've opened up their pocketbooks a little bit here lately.
Well, Jim Crane's got a pretty fat pocketbook. I hear when he stands on his wallet, he gets 3 inches taller. And Sarah Weissman does it.
Forces
She's
the
going to
game
force us
three.
to game 3. And you watch, folks. I bet I look like a prophet because I have a feeling she's about to run Tony Morris right out of town here in game number 3. Tony Morris is going to be facing an early onslaught, and I hope he's got the defense to handle it.
He's going to need it.
But back to the Astros. Astros making room today to make Kyle Tucker and Miles Straw permanent fixtures in the outfield by moving Jake Marisnick to the Mets for what could be some good draft picks, because as we know, the Mets not very good right now. Marisnick helping them out on the defensive side of things when it comes to it. Marisnick obviously showed some pop here and there, but as far as a consistent batter, I mean, the guy always ends up batting around 220, 230. It's always been his defense that's kept him on the field. So the Mets, right now, not in complete rebuild mode. Now, adding a guy like Marisnick, it's more of a preventative measure and keeping the other team from scoring runs as opposed to improving your offense.
But he does get some timely hits, so that is something you can count on.
And he's also going to bring championship and playoff experience, which the Mets sorely need, and he's going to be reunited with Carlos Beltran. So, Beltran being the new manager there, he's familiar with what Marisnick brings to the table. Obviously, Marisnick no Beltran, but Beltran, the same type of player that everyone always wanted Marisnick to be. If Marisnick could have lived up to his full potential at the plate, maybe he could put up numbers similar to Beltran. But defensively, Marisnick does remind me a lot of a young Carlos Beltran. Unfortunately, when he was young, Beltran wasn't winning titles. He had to be the fat old guy on the team. And, Jake isn't old, but again, he's going to be that veteran presence in what is sure to be a young locker room up there in Queens for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yes, indeed. And it'll only be about 2 or 3 years if he doesn't win any games, so it's not a very forgiving market.
Mets solid pitching staff with Syndergaard still up there, locked up for the next few years. Finally got David Wright to retire. That big contract eating their lunch for so long.
The Mets are the kings of handing out ridiculous contracts. They're still paying Bobby Bonilla.
And when you're in a city like New York and you're putting up with those guys from across town, 2 trains away, not everyone can do what those evil guys what the Evil Empire does. Just not everyone can do that. And, since Cashman has been there and since the passing of Big George, the Yankees have become more of a Moneyball type team. Yes, they still have the pocketbook to throw the 35 plus million a year that, I'm sure they're going to end up throwing at Garrett Cole, but a lot like the Houston Astros, they've got a very, very strong farm system and have been They didn't build it the same way through the draft, just through some well-placed trades. because unlike the Astros, the Yankees did not go through a five-year stretch of 100 lost seasons.
The city would not bear that. The city would not bear that. It costs too much for those seats to sit through 100+ lost seasons. And the fans will be quick to tell you that Yankee Stadium would be a ghost town.
Never been. I haven't been to the new Yankee Stadium. As a baseball man, I mean, come on, the old Yankee Stadium. That's like a Christian making the pilgrimage to Vatican City.
Or the Mecca, right?
You're going to Mecca. You go to Monument Park. You go touch Babe Ruth's face. Yeah. And, I did live in that part of the world for a while and worked for a company that did have season tickets to the hated Empire's Castle, and I went to a lot of those games, including the 5-pitcher effort, the no-hit. I don't know, and I will remind all of the Evil Empire fans out there that who was the last team to no-hit them? That would have been my beloved Astros. And I was there with a bunch of Evil Empire fans taking it from all sides. But I will give it to this for Yankee fans. They turn on the Yankees quicker than the visiting fans do. And by the 8th inning in that game, the home crowd was cheering just as loud for every Yankee strikeout that the Astros pitcher threw, because they knew they were witnessing history. The Evil Empire getting no-hit at home, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't
Not
happen.
often. Wiseman taking the game and pushing herself into the finals bracket.
So it is going to be a rematch at the championship table between Jacob Munoz and Sarah Wiseman. Jacob Munoz getting the best of Sarah in the winner's bracket final. So Sarah taking her pass to the elimination final and gonna get a second shot at Jacob.
All right, we're going to take a small break here, but we will be back in the next 30 seconds to a minute.
All right, guys, really quick break. I do believe Sarah is going to get a point or two against Jacob. We'll get an update on the handicap here momentarily. Our players come to center table, and our championship is about underway. And Jacob Munoz going to win the opening face-off and come away with possession. Tell you what, folks, I picked up an air hockey mallet for the first time in a better part of a decade about an hour and a half ago, wasting some time with Jacob Munoz, and yeah, I don't belong on a table anywhere near that kid.
Yeah, I'm sure that had that been me, the outcome would have been the same. It's not worse.
And Jacob Munoz picking up right where he left off. Sarah Wiseman unable to get a natural point yet. And another own goal by Wiseman, and Munoz quickly out to a 4-2 lead. If Sarah Wiseman can win this opening match, we will play 2. But with the way things are going, Munoz is on a roll. And if he closes out Sarah Wiseman in 2 games, our championship is done for Friday night. Oops. We're now at 5-4. Oh, and Munoz throws the changeup. Wiseman bites, and Munoz now to game point at 6-4. Possession gonna go back over to Sarah as the puck leaves the table. And there it is, folks. Jacob Munoz making quick work of Sarah Wiseman in game number 1. Sarah Wiseman only able to get off 2 natural points. And Munoz closes her out 7-4.
That was a very, very strong defensive play he made there to open the game. He's lost his paddle. Sarah was on the attack immediately, and he very, very deftly blocked her in the incoming shot. Some good paddle work.
He's just all over her and just sharp on offense right now.
Alright, but Sarah's trying to have a go at
Sarah's
it
on
here.
the board here, and she moves ahead 3-1. Looks like we have a midline violation by Jacob Munoz, so Sarah will take over possession. Jacob hasn't played a match in probably 35 to 40 minutes. But again, wasted a little bit of time with me and was playing a little bit with Charlie on the break on one of the satellite tables. So he's definitely not coming in cold. Things slowing down a little bit. Players getting more deliberate with the shot selection.
So they're trying to feel each other out a little bit here. Look for some weaknesses. Anything they can exploit, really.
Both of these really solid defensive players. I think Weissman has figured out that if the pace of play gets too quick, it definitely favors Jacob Munoz. So she's definitely going out of her way to slow down the pace of this game. And look at that counter from Wiseman. She's up 5-1 now here in game number 2.
She's really making a case to see the second and third game.
Really sharp angle on that last attempt by Munoz. But Sarah shut it down.
Munoz looks like
Munoz with an own goal, and Wiseman gets to game point, crushing Jacob Munoz 6-2 here in game number 2. Again, Weissman gonna need to win 2 matches against Munoz to claim a championship. Her only loss tonight coming to Jacob in the winner's bracket final. These have been the 2 sharpest players all night long.
Alright, Munoz with a little action here. Is it too little, too late?
It is
and
way
indeed
too little, way too late. And Weissman with a sniper shot off the right rail finishes Munoz 7-3 in game number 2.
Little turnips right back at you there, right? 7-4, 7-3. Got another little lull in the action here. It's a very important game. Some players are taking their allotted time to recoup and reset their minds. All right, the action is on here in the third set. And Jacob scores first off the near rail. Jacob's coming out firing right now. Scores on a forehand there. Quickly ties the game. And he's just blasting him down Center Street right now. All right.
Momentum's gone back to Munoz's side of the table.
Yes.
4 unanswered to start game number 3. Sarah needs to slow it down and start getting picky with her shots.
It's her first natural score of the game.
Good forehand try from right at the center of the table by Jacob, but Sarah shuts him down and counters with a nice backhand right down the middle. And Jacob moves back ahead 5-4, and we're creeping up on the deciding points in this match. A win here by Munoz, and we are done. A win by Wiseman. We are gonna play a second match at the championship table. All tied up, folks, but not for long. Jacob with a beautiful forehand down the right-hand side. And Munoz to championship point, and that is gonna do it, folks. Jacob Munoz finishes off Sarah Wiseman in 3. Final game score 7-5 over Sarah. Congratulations to our champion for December 6th, Jacob Munoz. Sarah Wiseman with the second place finish.
Very respectable.
Goofy Morris finishing in 3rd, and Tyler Gibson with the 4th place finish. Congratulations to all of our finalists. Anything to add tonight, Charles?
Well, we hope you enjoyed all the action, and it was a little bit short tournament, also a little stretched out, but we had lots of good action on the table, and we're looking forward to more action next week.
And folks, again, keep tuning in week to week. As soon as we are allowed to make our big announcement, we will. It regards our World Championships, but you will have to tune in next Friday. Again, a reminder about tomorrow. We've got our amateur tournament here at the 7-6, located at 2808 Milam. Anyone age 25 and under, we encourage youngsters to come out, give air hockey a try. It's going to be a $5 entry fee. If you are a master level player, you may come out and give some advice, but you may not play. This event is all about the newbies and the kids. That event kicks off here tomorrow at the 7-6, again 11 a.m., 2808 Milam. One last shout out to the sponsors at the I-45 Bingo Hall. They've got games going till 2 a.m. tonight. Make sure you make your way out there. Where'sthegig.com, again, always a musician's best friend, and our new friends at Old Humble Distilling Company. For Mr. Charles Ray, I am Jay Lippincott. We are signing out, and we will see you next week.